Out on the trail trying the new Giant Loop Mojave saddlebag, a lightweight tool bag system for your lightweight dirt bikes. A real elegant, tight solution to getting the weight off of your back. So let's go back to the house here and show you how this all goes together. This is on the KTM 350 EXC-F. Oh. Okay, here it is, the new Giant Loop Mojave tool bag for the dirt bike. Something a lot of my riding friends already have. Now I finally got my own. Let's take a closer look at it. Something I've been looking forward to for a long time, and I'll show you why and how I use it here in a minute. But first, let's take a closer look at the bag itself. Priced at about $200 to 230 bucks. Comes complete with this heat shield right here and a removable tool pouch in the middle, weighing in at just about 3 pounds. Made out of 22-ounce heavy-duty vinyl-coated polyester trucker's tarp. Mil-spec zippers. Looks like they got waterproofing already applied to them. A couple of hooks for the rear and a couple of straps for the forward, and a compression strap right here. If you're worried about scuffing up your plastics, you can get the vinyl sticky stuff to cover your plastics and prevent this from scuffing up the plastics on your bike. Good size bag, 16 inches, and if you puff it all the way out, looks like you can get 4 inches out of it. About 7 or so inches wide. A removable tool bag, 9 inches by 5 or 6 inches, and again 4 inches deep. And you get the cool Giant Loop logo just kind of subtly embossed in the vinyl. That's what I was looking for. Where's the stickers? Got to get more stickers. Limited lifetime warranty. So with the Giant Loop Mojave bag, I want to take and consolidate all of this that I have so far onto the bike into one easy low center of gravity location. If I can lose the fender bag, that's an inner tube in there, completely lose the tank bag, that gets in the way, trail riding, climbing hills, get my tools out of my tool pouch into the Giant Loop Mojave bag, and especially looking forward to getting the weight of my tire changing tools out of my Ogio flight vest and off of my back and onto the back of the motorcycle, where you can easily adjust your suspension to accommodate the weight. Now I already have the Hot Springs heat shield on here. Remember, these exhaust systems develop extreme temperatures, and if any of this gear touches this hot exhaust, it's gonna melt it in no time at all. But if you just stand it off just a little bit like this, get some airflow in there, no worries, it will not melt your luggage. You can see the scuffing. This is typical. I've had a Giant Loop Coyote bag on here for years, and if you don't put the vinyl protectant on here, this is what will happen to your plastic over the years. But it's a dirt bike. I mean, who's worried about the looks? It's all about the ride. When you get your Giant Loop products, check out their website, giantloopmoto.com, and go to the section marked Experience, and in there, the Giant Loop Experience, look for something called Tech Shop or Tech Setup, and there's a lot of great videos and little tips and how to do bits on this Giant Loop luggage. So let's get to stuffing. Now I don't know if Giant Loop wants to reinvent the wheel here, but here's a nice tool pouch that you can throw out on the ground in the dirt and get to your tools, keeping them clean, and roll it up and keep them nice and tidy during the ride. The tool's all rolled up, fits in here, no sweat, with room to spare. Lots of room. Got everything from the tank bag stuffed into the center tool bag, including a tow rope, some siphon hose, tire gauge, another tool, map, batteries, pen, flashlight, and room for my old hat. Room to spare, plenty low, so when you swing your leg over the bike you won't be hitting that with your leg. I feel like Slim Pickens in Dr. Strangelove reading off the nuclear orders as he was pulling out the gear. 2 pairs of pantyhose. All right, we got 2 inner tubes, one for the front and one for the rear if you want to go real lightweight. Some guys just run a front inner tube, and if they have a need, we'll stuff it into a rear tire. That's right, a stick of JB weld, a knife, a MacGyver tool, a spare shift lever in case you lose one in the field. Kind of an expensive thing to carry with you. Tire pump, space blanket, saw. This is not the best trail saw in the world. There are some much better trail saws out there in the market. Some more tire irons. This is the great big one. 1 each spork from our friends at Human Gear. Let's get all this stuffed into the Giant Loop Mojave bag. Get it off of my back. Now this is starting to weigh a lot less. I'm going to keep my first aid gear and my spot stuff, matches and that sort of thing in here. Now I got room for 24-ounce beers in here, and of course water. This long old tire iron fits right in here. Good. Loads of room. There's stuff in there. Gonna rattle around and cause problems. I think it'll be all right. Now, another neat feature is now you got all your tools in one bag that you can easily transfer from one bike to the other without having to deal with kind of more permanent bags like these. Now that's a bit of weight. Now let's weigh it up and see what we got. So a total, including the bag weight, 14 pounds of stuff. I might need to review what all I got in here. Maybe go with the 1 inner tube option. Of course, 3 pounds of that is the bag, so 11 pounds worth of tools and stuff off of my back. So remove your tool pouch here, and this gives you access to these buckles, which allows you to adjust these hooks. Or you can remove these hooks altogether and use straps and hook onto some existing system that you may already have. You can also make notches in your plastic fender for installing the hooks, for giving the hooks some more purchase if you've got one of these thick fenders. To get this up real close to you, you can tuck some of this up underneath your seat. Be careful though, don't put too much tension on your seat or you'll pop the seat right out of there, or at least give this thing a good wow. So be sure and get the tension back on the bag using your hooks, and then secure them forward. Now, one consideration with this pack being so far forward might be that it'll interfere with you when you start really getting into the whoops and stuff. So I'm going to try mounting it a little further back with a different technique rather than using the clips, and dealing with these fat fendered KTMs. We're going to try and split this fender apart right here and run a strap in between the black and the orange and reassemble it. Inside your hot spring heat shield should be an extra piece of webbing so that you can put this together. Loosen up your black fender with an 8mm wrench right there and a little 6mm bolt right there, and that'll separate or loosen up the black from the orange fender. You can slide your strap in between there and it won't be in the way of the wheel. Never route your straps around the fender. This wheel, when you bottom out, will immediately shred it. You can remove the hooks right here, just on a single strap, like that. Thread the webbing right back through the same hole and back into the buckle. Okay, got the piece of webbing threaded through in between the orange and black. Just a little bit of it showing there. We'll pull that back a little further yet. Now, what to do with this strap when we remove the bag completely and want to ride the bike without the bag on it? Well, there's your typical hillbilly solution right there when you're not running with the bag and you got this pinched under there. A more appropriate solution might be a couple of buckles. If you got a couple buckles laying around, slide them on there, buckle it together. Bring your strap back through the bag here and reconnect it to the buckles. Get everything adjusted where you want it before you tighten your fender back up, securing the strap in its place. No hooks, no footman loops, just straps and tension. Tighten up your fender. It's all tucked up, tightened up, and it's all behind the black there, so nothing exposed to the wheel. Tight piece of kit, as they say. Trim up your loose strap ends, or the exhaust will trim them for you. And my back thanks you too. It's much lighter. Some of you guys were asking about the KTM 350 EXC-F. I'll shoot you a video here soon showing you what all I've done to it to make it the greatest long-range, lightweight trail bike, adventure bike I've ever had. And of course, it all starts with this big 5.3 gallon Cherubi's fuel tank. If you see, if you Google Wee Beastie 350 EXC-F build by a fella up in Oregon, that's the pattern I basically followed to set this bike up. And I'll do a subsequent video showing you what all I've done on this rig. Over 10,000 miles on this thing. The valves haven't moved one bit. Great machine. One thing you may want to consider now we've got this extra 14 pounds on the back of the bike is we really should go back through and reset the sag on the suspension and adjust the preload on the rear shock accordingly. Another consideration is to make sure you don't get this too far forward that you can't still actuate your Kickstarter if you still have a Kickstarter. The giant loop Mojave bag on the KTM 350 EXC-F. Nice, solid solution. Now I got full room to roam up here without the tank bag in the way anymore. Got rid of the fender bags. Got everything tucked in low and tight right behind me in the giant loop Mojave bag.